It has been an absolutely crazy last 24 hours since we last spoke, and apparently the president of the free world, or at least the incoming president of the free world, is launching his own meme coin, or already has launched his own meme coin. That is rather interesting, and I might even dare say a bit short-sighted, but the market is fucking hot right now. It's super hot. It's so hot. Anyways, there's plenty to talk about today. We're going to be going over the big four, that being Solana, XRP, Ethereum, and Bitcoin as well. We'll go over the greater picture, just continue on with this very long-term thread of analysis that we've been having each and every week since, I don't know, about September or October, and continuing with the focus on the higher term timeframes. So first things first, to start off right here, actually with an understanding of kind of where we are in the in the timeline, I guess, which is Monday, we have a big event, or seemingly a big event. It seems like the market is very much excited for this. The market's very much been anticipating the first crypto president coming into and stepping into power, which is very exciting. However, I would say that, you know, this does have the potential for a sell the news type of event. I'm not necessarily saying that it's going to be like a market top or anything like that. No, I don't think that the cycle tops are here or time-wise near right now. But more importantly, you know, these sort of events do a lot of the time act as, well, as liquidity for many people to kind of dump off on. So I would just be cognizant that maybe on Monday around the inauguration, you might see some pullbacks on some of these things, but that's going to be in the lower term timeframes compared to what we're really focusing on in today's video. And I see that someone else just subscribed. So welcome to our new subscriber. And hey, if you find this content valuable, well, you probably don't find it valuable just yet because we haven't actually gone into the analysis. But if you do, then please do consider liking and subscribing so you can get these videos each and every day. All right, sweet. So starting off here with Solana, I think this one is the exciting one in the present moment just because Trump launched his meme coin on Solana. So you can see it's going absolutely crazy in the early morning hours here. On the higher term timeframes, the monthly namely, we do see that the monthly is going to potentially confirm a bullish engulfing dildo by the end of this month. Now, the end of this month comes in just under 2 weeks. And if the monthly closes anywhere above 247, there's your bullish engulfing dildo. There's your massive macro breakout. And you should be expecting significantly new all-time highs. I mean, at least in my opinion, significantly new all-time highs. I know that a lot of people are looking for like multi-$1,000s worth of Solana in the future. I'm not necessarily of that same opinion, or at least not right now. But while we are here on the monthly, I should remind myself that the monthly stochastic oscillator representing momentum will continue on to the upside as long as Solana is above 200. That was a big focal point of our analysis for the past month, that Solana, you know, for right now, it's consolidating, or it was consolidating. And the second that it comes back above $200, that's my signal. At least you can have whatever signal you want. Anyways, going down into the 5-day time frame, we can see that the breakout, I mean, the breakout's real. You know, it is very common to pull back after you do retest, in this case, an all-time high, or a very important high. So that is why I do express a little bit of, you know, a little bit of restraint or skepticism coming into Monday's event. Because if things do want to pull back, you know, you could easily see Solana spike down to like 220, 215 region and then close the day up. You know, you might get something crazy like that. But on the 5-day time frame here, which kind of gives us, you know, a greater look on price action, we can see that Solana is about to resolve the major range that we've seen it in since middle of December. So this is kind of what we've been waiting for. It looks like the LARP lines here were generally right. And as this move does get underway, you can see that 5-day stochastic momentum is freshly crossing up to the upside, also playing out a trendline regression test from the same trendline that we've seen on the July lows of 2024, as well as the September lows. So that was this major low right here at about 125. And before that, that was this major low right here, actually also at 125. Now flipping back to the upside as Solana does resolve its current range and anywhere above 225 on this next 5-day closing basis, which will happen actually on Monday. The breakout is, I mean, it's confirmed even for the most of conservative traders out there. Again, you know, do whatever you want to do with this information. It does just come down to my opinion, but ultimately, this is a setup for a macro breakout and major continuation. So the question is, where are the targets? Where are the areas of interest long term here? And for that, I'll bring up some of our tools right here. And we can see the next major one upon essentially reclaiming the all-time high. So maybe this doesn't happen this month. Maybe it happens February or so. Very likely a move into the 300s, probably somewhere around 340-ish region on that first move up. And I do think that we will see Solana somewhere around 400 to 500. I do think that's still the general trajectory for something like this. At which point I would also exercise a bit of skepticism just personally. But ultimately, this one is literally in the process of breaking out like right now. I mean, even the 10-day time frame, which again closes on Monday, same day as inauguration, is one massive bullish engulfing dildo. If you see it close above 223, and I think that's also the weekly. Yeah, 223. You're gonna have bullish engulfings confirmed on the 5-day, the weekly, the 10-day, and upcoming to the monthly as well, which obviously just have to wait a little bit for that, but so far so good. And Solana just putting in yet another higher low here in a series of higher lows for a long time. Good, very nice indeed. In fact, weekly stochastic momentum is about to cross back up on tomorrow's closure, assuming that Solana can remain above 235. So still up and to the right, basically. Moving on from there, I should get into the next hottest one, so hot right now, which is XRP, everyone's favorite coin to hate. And to be fair, XRP made new all-time highs this week. I mean, that's really bearish, right? I do want to say on XRP, the breakout is real. The breakout is legitimate, but I actually don't think XRP is going to go for one of these tremendously crazy moves from here. I mean, that depends on what you define as a crazy move, but we'll talk about targets to the upside upon confirmation in a bit. For right now, I do want to focus on the weekly BBWP. We can see that it is coming off of extremes, and I do suspect that we're going to get a double extreme right here. But anytime you see double extremes on BBWP on a higher term time frame like this, you're very likely looking at a major high. So just understand this is only the first one right here. This implies that we're going to see at least one more. But for example, the last time we saw double extremes was on this high from 2021. Time before that, double extremes, we saw it on this high in 2017. And in this particular one right here, I mean, XRP can run quite a fair bit on this next leg. It's just, I would suggest, or at least I would be looking at, any sort of reversal on a higher term time frame after this next run as very likely a major high for a long time. We can see that stochastic momentum is, quite high here, which is a sign of, of a strong market. As long as the weekly close above 290, that one will, essentially continue up. The monthly time frame also, one massive, just girthy green dildo. So it's hard to hate that as well. But I guess that begs the question, or actually first, let's go over this. Okay, so as far as before we get into, I guess long-term targets upon continuation for XRP, I do want to talk about what would invalidate, this current move. As long as the weekly stochastic oscillator is positioned to the upside, the trend is your friend, and momentum is also indeed probably your best friend at that point. And for this week, just needs to close above 290. So it needs to be above 290 by Sunday on the weekly closure. And well, from there, let's see what sort of areas of interest we have. The first major one's going to be about I shouldn't say major one, but the first, proximal one's going to be about 360 or so. Would be expecting a bit of a short-term pullback there. Maybe that's, kind of what this move is right now. But longer term, I do think that XRP finds its highs somewhere in this pocket here between nearly $4.50 to $5.40. And I imagine you probably see, or you very likely see, double extremes on weekly BBWP at that point. That to me would be really fucking indicative of a major high being put in, maybe even a macro high. But hey, that is a pretty massive percentage move, but I understand that for some people that sounds like pennies because you're looking for $10. No, why so bearish? $50. No, it's also bearish. $549 US dollars. Maybe, or is that even the number? I forget. Maybe it's 589, whatever the fuck, doesn't matter. Anyways, moving on now to everyone's favorite can't pump coin, which actually I made a post about this morning. Very bad, very, very bad humor here on Twitter, but Ethereum versus its Bitcoin pair. I mean, it's making new lows, already on new lows, and we cannot pump it. We cannot pump it. It cannot pump. It's wrecked for forever. No, probably not. I mean, if the rest of the market continues up, which I think that it will, I don't think that this one's going to fall apart. It just doesn't really seem to be a big performer to the upside. As far as the daily goes right here, I mean, this, technically speaking, this is a lower high being put in as of right now, with this price action right here upon, I guess, Saturday morning. I do think that this one will head back down to the bottom side of this trading range, somewhere closer to like 3,100. Doesn't necessarily have to get exactly down around there, but, throwing a wick back down around there on this move, I do think is rather likely. Let me just get my notes over here. Yes, there we go. And generally, XRP, Ethereum just kind of stuck in this lower trading range. Again, 3,744 to the upside versus about 3,100 to the downside. Again, this is on a closing basis, but as long as Ethereum's essentially below that 37, let's just call it 50 area, not anything super interesting to be looking at right here. Now, I do still remain bullish long term for Ethereum. Because one, the market cycle, and then two, the monthly stochastic oscillator. As long as it's above that red 5 exponential average and the monthly stochastic oscillator, which will cross the upside upon January's conclusion, if XRP Ethereum closes above about $3,000, we'll see momentum into the bullish control zone, also up and still trending above, your trend moving averages. So yeah, I would still be overall bullish, it's just not as interesting as many other things. As far as the long term goes, really need to see a monthly closure above about 3,900 before I think this thing starts to run to new highs. But you do have a monthly uptrend right here. The market conditions are right. It's just Ethereum doing one of these, which is unfortunate. We all used to love Ethereum, but maybe it'll have its day in the sun. But it does seem like it'll be probably short lived as well. Anyways. That also does imply that Ethereum must remain above $3,000 by end of month to maintain whatever bullish bias that I might be having, which I think it probably will. But again, always have to have a line in the sand. All right, let's get on to Bitcoin here. Actually, in fact, I want to start off the Bitcoin analysis, very quick analysis, with looking at the BlackRock ETF, which I, for some reason, have lost in my list. There we go. And just remind myself that the weekly is already closed, so this is already set in stone. The weekly did close as a massive bullish engulfing dildo, and I think weekly momentum is very close to turning back up again in the critical zone. Now, being in the critical zone is indeed critical, but it is still, indicative of long-term, or maybe not long-term, but short-term, very, very strong momentum to the upside. So, this one, again, does it pull back on Monday and maybe come back down to like 56 or 57, which perhaps could equate somewhere around like $100,000 for Bitcoin spot? Sure. Yeah, it's possible, but whenever you see a massive bullish engulfing dildo like this, where it's not just engulfing the prior, but also bringing you above the top side of the weekly range, I mean, it's continuation. And same thing over here on the monthly as well. Anyways, as far as that goes, let's go over here too, because the weekly for CME is also closed. The weekly did close again as a bullish engulfing dildo, and more importantly, pertaining to the HPDR on the weekly, it did close above the median for the first time since this correction. Well, I mean, it's kind of been closing around there for this correction for a while, but for the first time in a few weeks, which is significant. We don't expect any sort of major potential breakout rallies until it's actually above, and right now it is. I imagine that will be somewhere around 100,000-ish to open up the next week on Monday, so we'll see if there's a retest down around there, but ultimately I'd be looking towards the top side of this range high here at least a 38.2 level, which is $114,000 as a general area of interest. Not necessarily next week, but over the next, I don't know, 2-3 weeks, whatever the fuck it ends up being. Doesn't really matter to me. And of course, yesterday's analysis, if you want like a much more in-depth analysis of all the major setups going on with Bitcoin right now, that would be the one for you, or the video to watch for you. Other than that, I want to quickly show the quantum wave bands here, because this one, I mean, this one's been trading very frequently on the hourly, less so on the 30-minute recently. Again, if you're a trend trader, this is not relevant to you at all. If you're a scalping trader, on lower term timeframes for Bitcoin and a few other alts as well, then yeah, this tool, I mean, actually has been doing very, very well throughout this corrective period. Again, these are small trades here, but when you're in tight ranges, small trades are fine. And I mean, small trades are fine all the time. Anyways, it did fire off a long entry right here. I'm not personally so hot about this one, but short term, maybe we do get a pop back up there. This one has boasted a pretty nice win rate since 2018 at just over 64%, with a nice profit factor at just under 140. So not bad. Again, if you're if you're super new and just looking for like bumper rails to keep you on track and keep you from getting wrecked, something like this can be rather useful, just because it gives you where this strategy would be firing off, gives you a probabilistic entry, and then of course, more importantly, it gives you an objective stop loss, which helps you helps keep you from getting wrecked. Anyways, yeah, that's it for me today. As always, I want to wish everyone the best. Tomorrow we'll do some Q&A action. So if you want to contribute there, if you want to join in the fun there, you can join Discord, which there is a link to in the description below. I'll just post up the thingy right here, or I'll just show the thingy right here. It looks like things are already pretty full, but maybe we have some space for more. And yeah, we'll end things right there. As always, wish you the best. Take care, much love, and see you hopefully Sunday.